What's up, everybody? It's Troy. Hope you're doing fantastic. We're going live here and talking about a key reason why you might be feeling stuck in life. And I believe that there's a universal law behind it. I want to explain what that is, how to break through it. So let's dive right into it. See, there's a law called the law of diminishing returns. And essentially what it says is that anything, even if it's a good thing, too much of it essentially isn't good after all. And so what does that look like? Let's first unpack it with like a little example of money, monetary exchange, and what you might feel. When you spend money, you're expecting to get a return, right? Like I have a men's retreat coming up that you're invited to as well, but people are spending money to go to this event and they're expecting a return on their investment. So look at it like this. Like let's say you're taking a girl out on a date and the first time you take her out, you go to the movies and it's a great time. You drop 40 bucks because you got the soda and the popcorn. Maybe you're looking more like 60 bucks nowadays, right? And it's a great time. And then the next day she wants to hang out and take her back to the movies. You're like, all right, so maybe it was a level 10 as far as the first date went. And then the next time, okay, maybe it was still a really good time. There's still good movies to watch. Maybe it's a 9. And then the third day she wants to hang out and you go back to the movies again. And now instead of like a 9, the return you actually get is like a 6, right? And then fourth day you do it again. Now you're down here at like a 2. So the money that you're investing, right? Each time you're spending $60, the extra return you're getting on it, as far as like the enthusiasm, the connection you guys are having, trying to impress your date, all that stuff, is diminishing over time, right? The value exchange starts to decrease over time. So what I believe often happens to a lot of us is we find situations in life that initially make us feel really good. Like maybe it's exercise, maybe it's even video games, it's listening to music, it's creating music, it's, like for me, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and I kind of want to share a little bit about that and unpack that for you. Because as an example, right, I remember starting Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and be like, oh man, this is great. Like, well, first it kind of sucked, right? You get your ass kicked, and that's just the reality. I got a whole video on that, just talking about how we have to allow ourselves in life to be the white belt if we want to essentially ascend into the ultimate layers of becoming browns and black belts and such. But for me in the beginning, it was cool. I was getting a lot of return as far as the value of who I was. It was helping me like understand more about myself. I was gaining my confidence as far as like, the physical aspects and self-defense aspects of life. I was making connections with new people and that felt really good. My body was responding. I was getting like in better shape, right? So the return I was getting on my initial investment, right, as far as time spent, money spent, all those things, was very high. And then at one point, I started to get almost like addicted to it. And I started kept going and going and going. And I wanted to get better and better and better. And then at one point I did something like kind of ridiculous. I think it was like 26 days in a row or something. I went every single day. I trained every day for 26 days. And what started to happen is my body started to like decline, like the physical benefits I was getting were like not as good. I was getting like really frail and skinny. I think I might have been around the time I tore my meniscus. It was like either right at the tail end of that or something. Tore my meniscus. Just felt kind of flat, like personally, like just in my normal life. I was kind of just flat. Nothing was super exciting. Like the energy that I had was started to like decrease and drain. And so essentially, this thing that at one point was giving me a 10 back on my life was now giving me like 2s and 3s. And honestly, like you might think like, oh, like you were probably getting really good at jujitsu. I don't know that I was. Like now I train way, way, way less than that, way less than that. And I still feel like I'm increasing in my like understanding of jujitsu, my performance, and also my body is staying healthy. And so the thing is for us to find those areas in life, like think of it like a video game. Like it's cool to play a video game here and there, but like here and there, at first it feels good. And the next thing you know, like 3 hours, 4 hours, 6 hours, a whole day has gone by, right? And then that starts to build a pattern, a conditioning for us. Even exercise. We exercise at first, it feels good. And maybe you're even still getting like physical returns because you understand like recovery and the valuable aspects of that. But over time, also, maybe you're missing out on other things you could be doing, things you could be doing to grow your business or, make new connections, meet a girl or a guy, right? And so we're getting diminishing returns on certain aspects of our life. So it's important for us, I believe, to inspect in our life the things that we are doing, regardless. Maybe, and they're not always even external, right? Maybe it's even like chilling on the couch, watching TV. Maybe you need to do some more of these types of things to get out, stretch yourself in some of these areas a little bit. But anything that we're doing needs to be inspected. If we're doing too much of it, even if it's a good thing, we might be getting diminishing returns. So that's the law of diminishing returns. But hang on a second, because I want to tell you why I think we oftentimes go too far in these areas. So for me, when I was doing jujitsu like 26 days in a row, what was actually taking place? I've sat with that energy for a while. I've looked at it, and I've done this before. Like in the past, it was work or it was X, Y, and Z. At the root of it, what it was is I had anxiety. I had deep trauma, deep wounding that I hadn't worked through. And I share this with you guys often, right? Like it's so important to work on our inner game, the inner parts of ourself, right? The inner workings that are taking place. Because this oftentimes is the thing that is leading to our outward results or lack thereof. And so for me, I was going to jujitsu so often because I had a lot of anxiety. And I wasn't even fully like aware of it at the time. I was just, I didn't feel so great. And so I'd go train and I'd feel better for a little while. It was like a hit. It was like a high, like a dopamine hit, right? See some people, say hi, make a little connection, train, choke somebody out, feel good about myself for a minute. And then it was like a diminishing return after that. I'd kind of, in the evening, I'd just relax, kind of loll out in a way. And so by working on myself, by going inward, by removing a lot of that trauma, it started to clear out the need to go get it fulfilled like externally. I had already started to feel that inside, right? As I started to have that inner healing, that inner landscape started to improve. I didn't have to do the exterior stuff quite as much. And so now it's easier for me to show up at jiu-jitsu and just have a natural flow. Like, let's look at it. I'm 41 years old, right? I'm not going to be winning some world championship or making my debut into the UFC or something like that. Like, that's the actual reality, right? So it's better for me to have a balanced life, like learning to look at things. And this is a saying I learned with jujitsu. It's not how good you can be at jujitsu. It's how good jujitsu can be for you. So you can turn that into any area of your life. Like it's not how good you can be at the gym, right? Like how buff you can be, whatever it is, right? How good you can look, but how good can that thing be for you, right? Is it going to bring you happiness? And what point is that, like that balance that we lose, the equilibrium that we lose, we're going too far, we're actually getting diminishing returns. But I believe the secret, the glue, the key cornerstone here is to do the inner work, to remove a lot of those traumas, to do the breath work, to do the meditation, to do the self-talk, right? To get the distance between our thoughts and ourselves so we can see what areas we need to navigate and adjust in our life. So do the inner work. It'll help you kind of adjust to the outer world. You know what I mean? Let me try it again. The outer world around you. So yeah, I think it's it's a unique point. I'm trying some of this, these topics out that I believe have kind of influenced me, areas where I've noticed I've been stuck in life, and kind of unpacking those and going, why wasn't I able to get direction at that stage of my life? Like, why wasn't I able to move towards that goal during my, 20s or 30s or whatever it is? Why didn't I have direction? I was doing stuff. I was busy. But what it looks like after a while, when you're in the law of diminishing returns, it looks like a dog chasing its tail. Like you're active. You may feel like you're spending a lot of energy, like you're busy, you're doing stuff, but you're actually just kind of rotating in a circle. So we want direction in our life. We're not broken. We don't need to be fixed. We just need direction. So I love y'all. If you're looking for some of that direction, check out my website, troyfontana.com. Come to the men's retreat. There's still a couple more weeks. I think today is the last day. We have an early bird special, but there'll still be a few spots open after this. Would love to have you there. We're going to talk about a lot of this stuff and more. We got some amazing activities taking place and some amazing men showing up for this thing. So I'm super pumped for it. Much love to y'all. Do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe, share it with somebody who might benefit from this message. Until next time, y'all. Peace.